Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I got a comment yesterday or on the video that I done yesterday asking about Ranger bands and other than holding gear together, what they are good for. And I'm gonna say 90% of the usage is holding things together or protecting something, covering it just so things don't rub against it. And then a tiny fraction of that, 10%, is going to be for an emergency fire starter. So before we get too far into it, this is what we're using. Just a bunch of different sizes. These are ones that I'll get a $5 one. I don't even probably write down the sizes so I know what sizes are what. I don't really keep up with it. I'll just order a $5 bicycle inner tube every so often, and I leave some pieces big, so like this. Dropped a piece, and then some I just cut really small. And then I leave some of these longer too. I have a bunch of pieces laid around. This one was actually on my little cart that I had made, and the wheel come off the rim a while back, so I robbed it. This is new stuff. It's got a powder inside of it. Oh, here's this size. So 20 by 1.5 by, 20 by 1 3/4 by 2 1/4 is this big one. Boy, it'd be nice if we got lucky and found a little bitty, a skinny one with the size on it, but I think I've got all those cut up in here anyway. But anyway, so you can pick and choose how big of a piece you want. And I've got to where on some things, like a fire kit and some of my kits, I've started doing this. And it just holds it together. And this is got a diamond easy lap, a ceramic rod, a strop, and a little larger diamond stone. So I keep all of this is inside this piece of Ranger band. And I've also started doing that with, I'll put some fatwood in it, and it's what holds my awls, like in my chest kit for my chest rig. Instead of just having an awl that kind of floats around in there, not knowing what it's going to stab, I'll take a piece like this and I'll put a stick of fatwood in it and maybe a couple fire plugs, maybe something, and I'll have it like this, and I'll stick the awl down in it. Got one in my hat. I got a little fit in my hat. I don't have a full-size awl, but it does good to keep little pieces like this together all in one spot. But for the most part, they're going to be for holding things together. So in this situation, it's just holding all of this together. And that's the cool thing about some of it also, is even if you have it over a button, it's broad enough that it won't push the button down, but you can still activate the button through the band, which is pretty nice. And it holds tight. good stuff. It'll last for a long time. It'll stain your shirt. If you, I have on my work one is smaller frame than this. The whole thing's small, and I just wear cheap white t-shirts at work, and I got a big black spot on my chest where this is rubbed on it so much, but that's not a big deal for me. Just a good way to hold stuff together. This is another thing that I like to do with it. I like to keep my cordage just bound so it doesn't come undone. It works good. And I'll cut little strips of them and put them around spools of fishing line too to hold. This is, I'm using it for a protection, just for this. I showed it yesterday, but I'll show it again just in case. This gooey Majotis here is this waxed hemp, but it's just been in my pocket for so long that it is melted and squished together. But a Ranger band, this will get all funky too if I just leave it in my pocket without a Ranger band on it, but the Ranger band keeps it from rubbing off. So I try to leave one on there anyway, just to keep it from rubbing off in my pocket, and unspooling too. It's nice to keep it all in one piece. Same deal with, this is doing both purposes. This is the one that I made yesterday. The bottom one is the smaller one that's holding my fishing line on there, keeping it from unspooling, and the top is covering my waxed hemp. And I'll show you guys just a small piece. I'm not gonna burn a big honking piece of it just because, well, just because I don't want to, but I'll show you that it will burn pretty good if you had to use it for emergency. So it'll burn pretty good. It burns hot. Also, you could probably get it to light even if it's been wet a good bit. If you put the flame to it, she'll burn. But yeah, really inexpensive. I figure, I don't know what the outside diameter or overall length for a tube on a bicycle is. I don't know if 20 is the OD. I want to say it's probably the OD. But what is that? How do you do that? The diameter times 3.14 or whatever it is to get the overall length. I'm not a math. You'll have to look that up. I'll look it up just so I know. But for $5, I think that's about what I pay for one of these. Sometimes they're cheaper. You can get a gazillion different. Let me put this in the quench bucket in the forge. But you can get a bunch of different options. You can cut them as wide or as narrow as you want them and use them for all types of stuff. Now there was, I'm going to look it up, I don't know how to tag them, but a long time ago I saw a video on here where I believe that there were some Australian guys that were making pouches, like they had like a piece of pipe, I want to say it was like airline with a slot in it, and they'd put a string and fold this over like this and slide the piece over the side of it, and the piece of paracord, whatever, would give the piece of pipe that was like this with the slot in it, something to go over and to hold it. And it had like a little ring. It was super cool. I can't remember the name of the thing, but they made custom machetes. And I had seen it a while back. It was super sweet. I'm going to go back and try to find it. But yeah, you can get pre-made Ranger bands that aren't made from quite the same stuff on different websites. Wazoo makes some. 5 Call Survival's got some. I have some on my website, bushcraftkelso.com. Mixed sizes and specific sizes on there. But a bicycle inner tube can go a long way. I've got some bigger ones that I've got from a motorcycle shop one time, and they do good. They make good pouches. I have some pouches, an actual pouch like this one that I made from tractor inner tube one time. It worked really good. I carried EDC'd it every day for a month. It done just fine. But check them out. Inner tubes. Don't be scared. I just wanted to share with you guys. Feel free to like and subscribe. Check out at Bushcraft Kelso on Instagram for a ton more content. I'm just now getting caught up on things where I can start posting more than my internet's good. But anywho, look, y'all have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Catch y'all later.